Well, welcome everybody. This is Kim Evans. Welcome to my YouTube live series on demand coaching with Kim Evans on my YouTube channel here at Kim Jim. So thank you. And also thank you for the replay viewers. So I am Kim Evans. I am the proud owner of Two Gorgeous Integrated Health and Wellness. I have a private facial couture spa in Lafayette, California, and I'm also a beauty and business coach and holistic wellness educator and podcast host. So welcome. Today on this live series for the next 30 days in November, we'll be coming and bringing you some Kim Gems. We're going to be talking about 6 compassionate ways to support someone grieving a loss of a loved one or a major life change. So welcome. You know, going through the grief journey is uniquely different for everybody. So let me first begin to say that I have suffered a loss, actually 3 losses this year. This is 2024. And it is actually have been a very a challenging experience. Lost my dad. And then there after that, 6 months later, lost my grandmother of 106. And then just recently, just lost my stepmom. So the grief process for me has been a challenging one, which has allowed me to share with other people when I am learning as I'm going through this grief journey. And I'm going to leave a resource at the end that will also assist and to help you. So let's get into this topic. This is a Kim Jim topic. I'm hoping that I have the opportunity to give you a coaching moment, 6 compassionate ways how you can actually help somebody going through a grieving of a loss, right? Or a change of life, right? So let me just set this up for you. Normally, what I have come to find, what I've come to live, and what I've come to know, that many people or people in general, and y'all get this is going to be really good, really do not know how to respond to the sadness of others experience grief. And we all going to suffer this. We all going to go through this. We are going to experience the grieving process differently. When I lost my brother about 20 years ago, um, it was a different process, and I was at a different time, a different age than now. This year, losing, my dad and my grandmother, now my stepmom. When you at different ages, different seasons in your life, you experience it um, real differently. So whether it's a family, friend, or client, it's essential to know how to offer support. So let me rewind: family, friend, client, business associate, niece, uncle, nephew, so on and so forth. It's essential to know how to offer support in a way that feels genuine and comforting if you really want to learn how to better support someone going through their pain, going through their sadness and their loss, their discomfort, you're in the right place today. And so I hope that these 6 ways you'll be able to walk in a new light, in a new headspace, and so that you can have a more compassionate and empathetic conversation with someone. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up. Someone may ask you, how you doing? And you'll say, I just suffered a loss, in my family, just suffered my dad, my grandmother. And they'll say, I just suffered my cousin, or I just suffered a friend, and God, I just went through 2 funerals. Or they're telling you about their experience. And it could be someone that died 15 years ago. Yeah, I know when I lost my mother. And when you do that immediately, you're not addressing that person's that you just asked the question pain. It sounds very dismissive, downright harsh and rude, and it's unloving. So I'm just giving it to you from the other perspective. Let's have a coaching moment here. So in a nutshell, now I'm gonna get real. If you're gonna ask me how I'm doing, don't compare your sadness with mine. because mine is fresh and mine is new. And I didn't ask you about yours. You asked me about mine. And so if you're asking me about how I'm doing it, then I transparently will tell you my feelings. I don't want that to be shattered or to feel dismissive. And when you just quickly compare an experience of death that you just had with someone else, you're not being empathetic, you're not being sympathetic, and it's not loving and it's not caring. Let me just get straight up. It really is not. So I'm going to tell you what it's like and what it is. And then I'm going to give you some comforting tips and keys on how you can better be expressive when someone says that. I didn't come up to you to tell you, oh, my day is going bad because I just suffered a loss. You asked me. So let's first get that clear and let's first set that up. You're asking me how I'm doing. And I am trusting that what I share and communicate in the best way that I know, going through the hurt and the pain that I'm going, that you're going to reciprocate love back. So I don't want to hear your comparison. It does not do anything for the person who's hurting and have just suffered a loss. So can you please, humans, stop doing that? Okay, now that I set that up, now let's get into our coaching. So if someone that you ask, hey, how you doing? And they're vulnerable and they want to share with you. And let me just say this before I get into our coaching moment, is that oftentimes people might just say, oh, I'm good. You get that response, oh, I'm good. They're hurting. You are a human being. Aren't you supposed to be here on this earth to help another human being that's hurting? And this person just say, oh, I'm good. Or they at work, oh, I'm all right. You know they not all right. You could feel their heart. We're supposed to be humans expressing love and condolences right to other people. You know they're hurting. So they'll respond to you because instantaneously they know that you're condescending and you don't merely mean that question like my condolences. Really? So now let's get into the coaching now that I set that up. A better way, if I can be allowed, a better way if you're asking really sincerely how someone is doing and you know they just suffered a loss, you know they're going through it. And they'll say, yeah, I just suffered a loss. Here is a key learning moment on how to be expressive with someone. You know, going through grieving process, everyone experiences that differently. How may I help you as you're going through your grieving process or in your sadness? Is there anything that I can help you with? Bingo! Did y'all just get that? Did you just get that? I want you to replay that back, what I just said. That will help you so much better in the long game, and you can go so much further. Because what you've done now, you're changing the game, and now you're being really empathetic with me. You're feeling my heart. So I'm gonna repeat that a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I know that going through the grieving process, going through the grieving journey can be difficult. Take yourself out of it. And let me know how I can support you in your grieving journey or in your sadness. Let me know how I can support you. Now we didn't had a real good icebreaker. That's beautiful. Now I know that you're connecting with me as a human being. I don't want to hear about your story with Bobo and the dog. I don't want to hear about that. Because that does nothing for my sadness. And what you're trying to do is keep yourself, or maybe you need grief therapy. You see, maybe you haven't experienced yours. So when you just can relate and see, and by saying what I just said to you, then now you can open up the heart chakra. And now we can have a more deepening and meaningful conversation. Wow, what do you remember about your dad that you would like to share? And if the person doesn't want to share anything, then don't say anything. Nip it in the bud. Don't even say, just don't even talk about it. Just say, I know that's difficult. And I acknowledge that that's difficult and what you're feeling right now. And I pray that God, with his strength, gets you through that. And if I can support you through your sadness and as you're grieving, going through your grieving process, I'm here to support you. That's all you got to say. I hope somebody got that today. I set somebody free with that because I took some real good notes on that one. Because now we can engage. And I thought we were here to have deepening human experiences and conversations. Don't be condescending. And like I said, I just think that a lot of people don't know how to communicate with people in their sadnesses. A lot of people don't know how to communicate people while they're hurting. So you evade it. You evade really talking about what's going on with them. And you want to put a story about what you experienced, but that doesn't do anything for the person who's hurting. So this is for that person. Somebody gonna get what I just said. The other point that, again, acknowledging the point, this is 12 different layers of grief. You know, when you, everybody's going to be grieving in a different way. And to acknowledge how you're grieving today is challenging and difficult. And I know that people grieve in different ways. That right there is going to open up a conversation. So if share with me how you're going, how is the process of you going through your grieving? How is that helping you to get through this journey? See, now you've opened a door and you really want to know what I'm doing. I could tell you something like, you know what, I'm going to the gym every day. And then you on the other side will say, really? How often are you going? See, now you're giving me comfort in my mental mind. That's really good. You should really stay with that. If that's helping you with your gym, that's excellent. And if I can support you in any kind of a way while you're going through your gym journey process or exercising, please, I'm here to assist. I have some resources for you. Nada, nita, don't say nothing else. Am I leading you on? Did you just get something with that? Because as we're going through the process, we want to protect our heart. And guess what? As you ask those questions, mirroring what I'm telling you back, it actually also protects our relationship. So then it allows me to open up further if I choose to connect with you in that way. And lastly, it allows me to really value more who you are as a human being and how you feel about me. Oh, I can end this live right there. Play it back. Play that back. Okay. And stop with all this comparison stuff because we're not trying to hear all that. We just not. I'm just keeping it real. And this is what this training moment is for. So I hope that that helped you. Be present and listen without judgment. So if you really want to support someone through their grieving and their life change, and I'm going to get to the last piece of it in a minute, is simply just be there and listen. Don't share your experience. Don't share your suffering because that's not your moment. If you have a suffering moment, then you bring up that moment and you suffer, you go through that moment. That's why I don't even go out with girlfriends and talk about it anymore because I'm not trying to hear your stuff because you really are not concerned about me. Because if you ask me a question, then you're telling me something else about you, what's your situation. So you allow the person to really talk. That's why I don't go out to lunch and go out to coffee anymore and talk about it because people don't really want to hear about it anyway, or they don't know how. Number two, acknowledge the pain without trying to fix it. Really? Wow. Oh, wow. It's a natural to make things better. And going through grief, it's not about fixing the person. It's just about acknowledging. And again, so many people find it very challenging and difficult to sit with someone in their pain because they don't know how to sit with that. See, when you do that, you have to enlarge your capacity. That's it right there. And most folks' capacity is not that large to deal with people's hurt and sadness. This is why you evade talking about it and you go this tit for tat and you want to share yours. It has nothing to do with you. You avoid cliches and uh platitudes, phrases like everything happens for a reason, then your person is in a better place. That would make you probably a person want to cut your head off. I'm just saying, oh my God, your dad is in a better place. How do you know what place he should be in? Wow. I'm getting on somebody there. And when you say somebody's in a better place, it could be very dismissive. Just stick to genuine expressions like, I'm here to support you. I can imagine how hard that is for you. So stick to their feelings of what they're saying. Wow, that must be very hard. You just lost your mom of cancer. You just lost your aunt of this. They're in a better place. Really? Wow. I'm here to support you. I know that's very challenging, and I pray that God continues to lift your heart and to give you strength as you're going through that. That's how you answer that person. Offer practical support. Grief can make all daily tasks overwhelming. Offer specific help, like I'm bringing dinner over to you on Wednesday. I was sharing this conversation with another friend of mine about a couple of weeks ago, when I had first lost my dad, and people say how I can help, and they was just coming with these crazy things. And again, it's thinking outside the box and capacity. And one thing, monetary stuff is always can help someone write a check, you know. But more importantly, what I'm trying to say is that, wow, the main number one thing, if someone is just suffered something, I'm going to DoorDash them a gift certificate, because for the most part, they're just like Glen Close, flickering in light in the closet with the lights going off because they just can't move, they can't cook. People always need food. DoorDash is the next best thing to indoor toilets. Send them a DoorDash card. Is there anything that can comfort you? You know what? What is your favorite food? I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get that delivered from Safeway or 365 or something. That's great. Would you like to go walking? I know this really nice trail, and exercise is beautiful, what it can do for the heart and for the mind. I'd love to walk that trail with you when you have some time. I mean, offer that. Systems, if you need any systems that can help you with some of the tasks that you were doing in your home, or if someone has kids or anything like that, you know what, offer them Task Rabbit, to come and help them to take those tasks off their hands as they're going through their grief journey. So, do you understand? So I hope that I'm helping somebody here. Do you need an errand that I could run for you? Or, as a matter of fact, where are you going? And you have a conversation, and the person may say they need to go here. They probably can barely drive. They can barely probably forgot where they live. Great. Do you mind if I gift you an Uber to take you over to where you need to go? Okay, now we're talking. Okay, now you're being supportive. Now, if you really want to support, then really be supportive. Those are some ideas. Be patient in the healing process. It's so dismissive to me. And like I said, I've suffered 3 deaths now this year. And people will ask me, well, how you doing? Like I'm getting ready to go roller skating tomorrow. Still suffering through my grief. Kim, how's your process of your healing? I know it's been a very challenging journey for you. How are you doing mentally, emotionally, and physically? How are you doing? They ask me questions like I'm getting ready to create the next task or go to the next big thing. It's like, no, that's not the way it works. People move through this journey of life, of loss, and it takes time and it affects them. And be real and human with that. And then the sixth thing is check in with your loved ones on a regular basis. It's so interesting. After the funeral, the calls stop, the cards stop, the knocking on the door stop. I mean, I've gone through this enough to where that I could talk about that and really know about it. Yeah, I'm living it. And so the funeral comes up, people bombard you with all these calls. But the minute the funeral happens, or the minute the memorial happens, everything ceases. That is so hard and cold. What happened to the love? Periodically call your loved one. 2 months later, 3 months later, monthly, weekly. Loneliness is a thing, you know? And if you have reoccurring deaths, it's like, wait, hold up. Let me send a love text. Let me send a card in the mail. Let me send a card email, as a matter of fact. A bright card. It's going to brighten up your day. I do that on a regular basis anyway, because that's just a part of what I do in my journey as my business. So I'm consistently always calling an old friend, a network associate person that I've met out of the blue. How are you doing? You were on top of my mind. I am calling to see what are the great things that you are doing in your world. Stuff like that. So the phones have stopped. Thank God I know the Lord. If I didn't know Jesus, I would just probably be a wreck. Thank God I do. And thank God I do have close family members close to me that to help to pray me up and to help me to enlarge that capacity of growth and ascension and to continue to move forward. So I just wanted to share that to you because oftentimes the support fades after the initial shock. But it's good to set those reminders and even months later, y'all, in your tickler files to continue to call your loved ones and to check on them. I'm just calling, girl, how you doing? How you doing, Sarah? How's it going, Tom? I know it's been 4 months since, the death of your lost one. How are you navigating through this earth realm and life? Wanted to just let you know that I'm thinking about you, that my heart reaches out to you. Is there anything that I can emotionally or mentally support you with? Because aren't we supposed to be apostles and teachers? Aren't we supposed to be servant leaders? Aren't we supposed to be motivators? Aren't we supposed to be educators? Aren't we supposed to be there to help others? Why have you been in church all these years and now you've been given opportunity to man up and to stand up and to utilize everything that you know in your ability or your spiritual connection that you say, then now is your time to use it. This is when you use it. Okay, out of school, boom, you at war. So use those skills, use those arsenals. You have an opportunity to uplift humanity while someone is going through the grief process. So I hope this was really good. Someone, thank you for tuning in. Remember, supporting someone through the grief is about the compassion, it's about patience, it's about being present. So I hope you got that. It's about compassion, patience, and being present. So if you found this to be helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kim Gems, for more insights and emotional support and wellness. And let's continue building a compassionate community together. So I hope that you like this. But I'm going to end with this: to know you are not broken. There's nothing missing. There's nothing lacking. That God allows all of us to go through this journey of death because we all got to go through that door on some level. We come into this world, we will exit. But while you are here on this earth, live up to your greatness, live up to your passion, live up to your gifts and your talents, and be that person who can be loving to the next person. And to know, lastly, that God is in the business of rebuilding. So if you are here and you've lost a loved one and you're going through this moving situation of your lost one, to know that God is not done with you and to know that He's rebuilding you. And you say to yourself, God is rebuilding me. He's rebuilding you. So one entity has shifted out of your life. Allow God to come in to expand that part of you in your life, and He will direct your path on your next mission in your life without the loved one. So that's how we move through this journey of when we lose someone, is to know that God is actually rebuilding us for our next level of success. That's when He's even there greater. And a great resource is Grief Share. And I'm going to leave that resource in the show notes. It's griefshare.org. I've been through it. I'm going through it my second time. It is a wonderful Christian-based virtual resource. It's beautiful. It's live group coaching for 13 weeks. And I recommend, if you have suffered a loss, to look into it because it is a great resource. So God bless you all. I hope that these 6 compassionate tips were very useful to you. And I hope that this conversation was directed in love and